Look how bad this is. Just how the mighty has fallen. It's honestly just insane. Like, the first season of the Misfit of Demon King Academy was legitimately great. Like, I wouldn't say it's the best series I've ever watched, but it was enjoyable. It had decent art, animation, pacing, etc. Once again, not perfect, but it was good. And then you look at Season 2, and just, like, what Season 2's offering. It's insane, just, like, what has been happening in these episodes. Like, just look at this clip here. Like, it's just... like, bro. Fire... Okay, so let's just get right into this. The Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2 aired last year, at the beginning of last year, 2023, and it was delayed. Like, you can literally see this was posted over a year ago, and literally it was delayed from episode 7 of season 2 thanks to COVID-related reasons. And there was a bunch of anime around that time period that Aniplex and different other companies like A1, etc., were working on that got delayed thanks to COVID-related reasons. Many of us agreed around that time that was just more or less bullshit, and just was like, an excuse, so to speak, because of poor management of, production time, etc. But basically, we fast forward, thanks to the events of, COVID-related reasons and delays that it had last year, the Misfit Demon King Academy's second half got delayed until this year. For instance, Season 2, or the second half of Season 2, started to air rather recently. And now, thanks to what came out earlier this morning with, this information, Misfit Demon King Academy Season 2 has been delayed once again to May 31st of this month. It's not as long as like a year, but it's being delayed. And they're going to be airing episode 14 instead. To kind of clarify here, that means that they're going back to literally this episode. Episode 18 is the recent airing. So they're going back multiple episodes. So judging by how this is, it's possible that they might just rebroadcast the whole series once again, which is just effectively showcasing the absolute disaster that Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2 actually is. So let's talk about this. I think at this point, we can all agree that it wasn't necessarily COVID that was going on. It was definitely poor planning and just the production, the management at the top and people managing things was just not good. Straight up. Just not good by any means. Anyone that tries to deny this and says I'm spreading misinformation is just straight up lying. Because there is no way you have this amount of delays for this series, delayed for a whole freaking year. This was supposed to end, FYI. Like, Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2 was actually supposed to conclude in Summer of Anime 2023. But obviously, where we're at right now, we are basically in Summer of Anime 2024. A year later, and the anime is not done. And they have effectively only released, as you can see, 18 episodes of Season 2. And it's been very rocky to get to this point. And now with more delays on the horizon, we could just assume that the series is pretty much just... it's dead in the water. It really is. I have seen so many people just lack interest in the series thanks to the constant delays. It makes sense. I mean, any movement that it potentially could have had just died very quickly because, who's going to keep up with a show that keeps having these random delays here and there? It's just people are going to forget about it and move on to the next series. But it's not just that. The very pacing of the show, which, let's pull up this episode, let's just pull up, episode 18 here. Episode 18 of Misfit of Demon King Academy, the pacing is just outright wild. Like, it's introducing multiple characters left and right, not really establishing them properly. The pacing of the story just does not make much sense for those that are just anime onlys. You might be able to keep up with some things, but overall, it just feels very incoherent and not properly paced as Season 1 was. It's just an overall 100% downgrade in comparison to what Season 1 was, and it's wild just to see an absolute dip in quality as we've gotten. I mean, look, this is the latest episode. This is the final frame of, the episode that we got before, obviously, a delay announcement, and you see this character running like this. You see a CGI dragon appear, and it comes after her. She's all scared, I think it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself just like, you're not going to tell me with a straight face, okay, that there isn't production problems. Like, there's a full-blown meltdown of production behind the scenes for this show. I feel for the animators, obviously, and I hope that they get some rest in time for this week, but obviously that's probably not going to be the case. It just, At this point, I think the team that's probably working on the anime has given up. Like, that is definitely the impression I have gotten from these latest episodes, that they've just given up on the project. More or less, they're just trying to finish it, that's it, and then just be done. Wipe their hands with the story. If I was the author of Misfit of Demon King Academy, like the actual writer of the light novel, I would be so devastated, because obviously these animators are putting, blood, sweat, and tears within the show to try to get it out, but it's like, I'd be devastated seeing my story just butchered, rushed, not properly conveyed to the audience, and then all these continuous delays on top of that. I would feel just devastated, and it's crazy. It's just like, nobody's talking about Misfit of Demon King Academy. There's a little niche group talking about, but not much at all. It's absolutely crazy to think that this series was scheduled to air in 2023. It did air briefly, and it's been delayed. It's 2024, and it's still facing basically these exact same issues, but they can't use the COVID-19 excuse anymore. It's insanity, man. Like, it's actually insanity. Like, these episodes are just dwindled in quality back to back, honestly. Like, I mean, I've already did a clip on this a while back, a few weeks back, but, like, there was literally a whole segment here where, like, there's, like, CGI dragons and stuff. It's so weird and out of place. Like, look at this. It looks... It's not just the CGI dragons. I want to make sure that this is clarified. As much as I want to meme on the CGI, there's more to it than that. It's just the pacing of the story is not good. It is just an overall shell of what it once was, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't unless you're really, really trying to fill in the gaps with, like, wikis and light novel readers clarifying things, etc. It's not good. And I'm just gonna say, this anime's a failure. Just straight up. Like, at least Season 2. Season 2 is a straight up failure in all regards. And it's sad to say that, because I did like Season 1 quite a bit. Now, feel free to disagree with me, but it's just, wow. I just don't know how we go from, like, a really good first season to something like this. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's... this dragon, like, look at this. Like, just look at this real quick, okay? Like, the fire effect just looks so bad, too. It doesn't even look legit. Like, it belongs in the show. It's just looks like they're using a flame effect from, like, stock images or something. That's what it literally looks like to me. Yeah, this series is cooked, man. It is just straight cooked as an anime. It's just a silent disaster, and I think the reason for that is because just people's interest in the show has pretty much become almost non-existent. Like I said, there's a niche group probably, and maybe some silent watchers, but I feel like most of the audience has probably just jumped ship at this point, because of just how the series is, and there's just so much other stuff that has come out in the time period of all these delays that just fill in that gap of what people want. But, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I wanted to talk about this. It's been on my mind, and it's crazy to just see the downfall of this show. I don't wish failure on anything, honestly, and I'm sad to see a show that legitimately had a lot of promise turn out to be just such a disaster as it is right now. But, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy, Chibi out.